I do have a sense that, whilst this second term has been an absolute nightmare, I think that the tide will turn, and I do have a strong feeling about that. And I think it's just up to us to kind of push and promote and really kind of encourage a worthy kind of opposition to what's been going on.
Tom, welcome to Times Radio. Nice to see you in New York City. How are you doing over there?
I'm very well, thanks, Ryan. Thankfully, I'm sitting in the AC at the moment because it is
Oh,
absolutely boiling outside.
I was listening to a piece on the radio saying that people are going back to the workplace just to get the value out of their AC. I mean, it's
Y yes,
a
yes.
sign
I
of the
mean,
times.
thankfully, we have AC in New York. I know it's been terrible in the UK
Yeah,
recently.
yeah, you haven't in one. And tell me this, I get the sense reading about you that New York is somewhere that you were kind of looking forward to heading back to, and it's an extraordinary city, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I was about to say it's so unique, and it reminds me of Unique New York, which is a tongue twister we used to do at
Yeah,
drama school. But
yeah.
it is a special place for sure, and I'm really loving living here. It's very very different to LA where I was for the last 10 years, but it feels really familiar.
Yeah.
It feels like London. It's got a very similar energy, and
Yeah.
that makes me happy.
Yeah, it's one of those cities that if you're bored there, you're a bit of a fool. I mean,
Yes,
there's too much
too
to
much.
do and offer.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Congratulations on your new show. I mean, I don't know if it's a new departure necessarily, but it's full throttle. It's classic drama, and you look really comfortable in it. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, man. No, I'm
Yeah.
having a great time. It's been a lovely journey. And I'm working with great people, and I think you always hope when you're doing these things that it will capture people's imagination,
Yeah.
and it seems to have. So I can't grumble.
Yeah, what is it's a spin-off from an FBI, isn't that right? It's from that world, and
Yeah.
they're from a really great creative mind you might tell us about, and they just don't seem to hit a bad note. They're so extraordinarily popular, these shows.
Yeah, so it's from Dick Wolf, who
Mm,
is a legend on US TV. Law and Order, Law and Order SVU, Chicago Fire, all the Chicago franchise, and they are just very, very good at making these procedural dramas. And so the opportunity to come and to work with them and for them was a bit of a no-brainer, to be honest,
yeah,
Ryan.
yeah.
But we wanted to make this show, if we could, ever so slightly different to those other ones that were out there that they're doing. And the opportunity of exploring the CIA and what they do,
Mm,
it's kind of presented that for us. It is a different type of law enforcement. They work in the shadows. They don't want people to know what they're doing. There's a lot of voyeurism that goes on there, and that's kind of inspired the way that we shoot the show and the kind of energy and tone that we've given to the show as well.
yeah. Can you give us a pen sketch of the show for people who haven't seen it yet?
Yeah. So my character, Colin Glass, he is a CIA operative, has been for 20 odd years now. And we find him working in the New York station. And a lot of people don't realize, but CIA work on home soil as well. They just don't talk about it. But in order for them to work on any kind of active case on US soil, they have to have an FBI liaison with them, which is not their favorite thing in the world because there is a big kind of difference in mentality between the two agencies. But my character Colin is teamed up with this bluer than blue Midwestern FBI character, Bill Goodman, um, who has the same goals but very different philosophies about how we get there. And so it throws up this kind of odd couple dynamic.
Yes. I
Um,
think you called him a Boy Scout with a briefcase at one
there's a
stage.
Boy Scout with a briefcase, exactly. And that's our kind of engine for the show, about how these two work through this dark, murky world that they do,
Yeah.
and how they kind of clash with each other and how they bond with each other through those moments.
It's funny because in the episode I was watching, they talked about the Strait of Hormuz, and I was thinking, gosh, either they were writing it at the time or just ahead of their time, ahead of the curve.
Well, yeah, I mean, interestingly, it wasn't in response to what was happening. That
Right.
was actually written and we shot that before what was going on.
Wow.
And also in our first episode, there's this whole storyline about Venezuela as well,
Yes.
which happens just before the Venezuela thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
it is quite, we're kind of sailing close to the wind here,
Sure.
and tackling universal subjects, but it is quite eerie how relevant they become once
Yeah.
you've done them.
And you're coming towards what the midterm elections over there, and
Yeah.
I know you've strong thoughts on
Mhm.
on the man running the country of your well, you're a citizen now, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I got my citizenship just literally just before the last election.
Yeah.
So that was a depressing intro into my
I was
life
going
as
to say
American.
because you've said it's a bit of a hellscape. Like once was careless, but twice was nearly did your head in completely. How are you coping?
Yes. I'm coping. I mean, it's nice being in New York, which is a very kind of liberal
Yes.
city, and I don't think represents certainly a lot of America. But I do have a sense that, whilst this second term has been an absolute nightmare, I think that the tide will turn, and I do have a strong feeling about that. And I think it's just up to us to kind of push and promote and really kind of encourage a worthy kind of opposition to what's been going on.
Well, you've certainly got a sense of it there with the mayor of New York,
Yeah, no,
representing a very
absolutely.
strong section of the American electorate. I mean, not
And that's
representing all.
really what's happened with Mandami, I think, is
Mm,
really encouraging for the younger voters. And I think that's really where we need to concentrate in this next election is really kind of like letting people take ownership of their future. Because at the moment, the people that are dictating how that future is going to be are not going to be around. And that's really distressing because they don't seem to think about the future.
yeah, yeah, that's not there on the top of their agenda.
No.
I must ask you, the your Lucifer days are behind you now, but I'm really intrigued. I'm fascinated by Comic Cons, Tom.
Yeah,
I just think that they attract the nicest human beings. They're
they
who are
do.
they are fanaticals. That's where the word comes from. They're fans. They're super fans. How do you get on at these events?
I really enjoy them and I find them incredibly humbling experiences actually.
Yes.
Um, you know, uh, uh, Doing the job that we do it for entertainment's sake, and we want people to have a good time watching shows, but you never think about the deeper meaning that people draw from their experiences of viewing things. And at those events, I meet lots of people who somehow, the show that we've made has had a profound effect on them for whatever reason. And it's really humbling, and for people to be passionate about the work that you've done, I think is lovely. And when you're working for camera and working on screen, you don't have that audience reaction that you get in the theatre. You don't know how people are responding to these things. So
Yeah.
having an opportunity in a forum to kind of mix with people, and it's really it's encouraging, and it makes me want to go and do it more.
Yeah, I bet. And as you
Yeah,
say, they're a good bunch of people.
yeah,
That we spoke once before at one of the great Chris Evans Carfest events, and
yeah.
I don't think at that stage Thursday Murder Club had come into the into all of our worlds. You were probably filming at the time, but
Oh, I think I was middle of shooting
you were
that.
in the
Yeah.
middle of shooting that, and you were there with the. But so you filmed. You were Pierce Brosnan's son in this film,
Yeah.
and uh, you came into ownership of a. Is it a painting he did?
I did, yeah.
What
So
was that?
so Pierce, a lot of people don't know this. Pierce is an amazing artist, and that's what he does with his spare time. And literally, like, sitting in between takes on set, he'll be
Yeah.
sketching with his little sketch pad. But he used to do a lot of work with Jane Goodall, and so did my father-in-law. And they were both at some charity event for Jane, and raising money. And Pierce had donated one of his paintings to this kind of auction. And my father-in-law bought it and was talking to Pierce afterwards, saying, our son-in-law was an actor. We always thought it'd be a good bond. And so Pierce wrote me this kind of little handwritten note with the painting. And this is before I'd ever met him, saying, to Tom, from one bond to another, love Pierce.
Oh,
And it
lovely.
and it rocked up on my house, this painting, which by the way is enormous.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, I get cast as his son, completely out of the blue. And
No.
so it was an amazing kind of icebreaker to have with him,
Uh,
telling him that I owned one of his originals.
yeah, a remarkable piece of serendipity,
I know.
which is amazing. So when you're over there, I read somewhere that you'd love to do some theatre, a
Yeah.
la my fellow countryman Oscar Wilde, or maybe somebody your
Mhm.
own, Cole Porter, Noel Coward, and so on. Any signs of something like that happening?
I mean, I'm really busy at the moment doing
Yeah.
CIA. We've just started season two, but I think in my head, I always like to have a plan about where I'd like to be in a few years'
Yes.
time. And I think I've been doing a lot of TV and film in the last few years, and I really, really would like to go back to where I started, which is in the theatre.
Yeah.
And I always call it rehab for actors. If you've
Tell
been
me.
doing a lot of TV and film, but just
Yeah.
going back to the bare bones and like the roots of what I trained in, and like the live experience is untouchable. And I really miss it. And yeah, I think that's basically where I'd like to put my attention after I'm done with this.
Yeah, and you just need that period in rehab, as you nicely put it,
Yes.
where you feed off. You can't feed off the audience on a screen, and it must be a very different
No.
world.
It is a very different world, and not even just that, like the rehearsal process and like just text being absolute, gospel and working your way through the text and um just finding character and all of that stuff and mixing with other actors in that kind of experience. It's a very sort of unique,
Yeah.
um primitive kind of experience for an actor.
Yeah. Did you stay off the smokes?
Ryan, I hate to tell you, but I am back smoking at the moment.
Uh,
I'm
what
not proud
what
of myself.
what have you tried to do? What has been the best thing to get off them since for a
I've
prolonged
tried
period?
I've tried numerous things. The last time I quit, I the doctor gave me a medication called Wellbutrin, which is something that they use for depression. But they found out, it also has this other kind of byproduct to it where it helps. It's like a
Oh,
cessation, and it helps you with your willpower. And I took that, and I have to say it probably really helped because
yeah,
I wasn't like
craving.
jonesing. I wasn't jonesing as much as
Jonesing.
normal, but I also didn't want to be on that stuff for forever.
Yeah,
So I started to come off it, and then as I started to come off it, lo and behold, the
back
world
on.
came out and back on it. But it is an ongoing kind of thing for
Yeah,
me.
strong. My brother was on about 20 a day, and we heard there's an Irish guy called Barry Sinclair. He used to be kind of mind reading, not reading, but one of these mind guys,
Yeah.
and an older man now, he's 80 plus, and my brother heard about him, said, "Is he still doing these things?" Yeah, he went over to see him, and he came out to meet me afterwards. I said, "Why are we outside and you smoking?" He said, "I don't know. I don't know." That was 8 months ago. He hasn't had a cigarette since.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, he was on a proper habit.
Okay.
So maybe you need to talk to Barry.
I need to talk to Barry. It sounds
Yeah.
like I just go to Barry's boot camp. That's what I need to
Barry's boot
do.
camp. Next time you're in theater getting rehab, you can go to Barry's boot camp and ease off the snow. So anyway, you're filming season two. Congratulations. That's great. I mean, it's such an endorsement of a show that you're already the ink is barely dried on season one and you're getting
Yeah.
stuck in. So this is your future for the short term anyway.
For the foreseeable future, yeah, yeah, we'll get through this season and see what the audience response is. But I am committed to this show
Yeah.
for as long as they need me right now.
Yeah, they'll need you for as long as it's the going concern. It's a great show and you're great at what you do. Tom, what a pleasure to have you on
Thank
the
you,
show.
mate.
Thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Ryan. Great seeing you again.